You are now listening to Me, Myself, and Love, the podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Me, Myself, and Love, the podcast. It is your girl, your host, Thomason, or Tommy G if we are tight like that. If you're listening to this on the day that it drops, congratulations. It is November 1st, happens to fall on drop day on a Wednesday, and this is just the best thing ever. I feel like the energy of a new month is so fresh, it's so pure, it's so exciting, it's so inviting. There's just something so good about a fresh new month that I feel like is the best way to start off this podcast. So if you're listening, congratulations. If you're not listening on the day this drops, that's fine too. You can still tap into this energy and begin to use every single tip that I'm going to share eventually in this video. So sit tight, stay strapped in your seat, because today the girlies are ready for their rebrand. It is time for a new era. There is approximately 61 days left in the year. 2 months. The fact that we are in November is actually sickening. Like, I kid you not. This whole year has been like a flash. I can't even begin to describe it. I've been through so many changes this year. I've been through so many difficult things. I've been through a few positive things, but I feel like mostly this year was really challenging and just like going through it. Not saying that this is a bad thing, but really just like going through different challenges and pushing through. I don't know if anyone else has had that same experience, but that's kind of how I felt. So to almost feel like we're at the end is kind of refreshing, honestly. And I also kind of feel like this new month is a chance to just get that spark back into the month, feel positive again, set some new goals, and just keep pushing forward, because that is what I'm all about. That is what we're all about. Pushing forward, making progress. So yeah, I'm really excited, as you can probably tell from all the craziness. Today we are diving into Project Rebrand. Maybe you set some goals January 1st. Maybe you wrote down a list of things you wanted to do and you haven't looked at that list since January. It's okay. This is a judgment-free zone. This is a safe space. I completely get it. I feel like the new year is a time where everybody wants to start afresh. Everybody wants to do the resolutions. That energy is fresh. It's potent. But honestly, the secret that I've discovered in the past couple of years is that doing your New Year's resolutions a few months before the actual New Year's is a game changer. It changes the game completely, because while everyone else is focusing on something entirely different, you are plotting. You know, when people say, oh yeah, you know, they're grinding, they're working behind the scenes, like that's literally what you're doing right now. If you follow this video and pay attention and implement these tips, you are way ahead of everybody else. And by the time the new year comes around, you're already settling into your new habits, you're already picking up different routines, and the new year is just a chance for you to solidify that identity even more. And again, be ahead of everyone else. Who doesn't want that? That is why I kind of feel like taking inventory of the goals that you set earlier this year and kind of just looking at, what did you say you were going to do? Is it something you've done yet? Is it something that you even still want? How can you take account of the things that you have set out to do and maybe even complete them by the end of the year if you haven't already? So that's the first step I would honestly suggest in Project Rebrand. Take that time to go backwards and reflect on the goals that you set earlier in the year. Honestly, at the beginning of this year, I feel like, I don't know if I would say I had a rough New Year's, but this was the first New Year's that I didn't spend with my family. So it was kind of rough for me. I was going through a lot emotionally. I kind of just wanted to be at home. I was very confused with my life, extremely confused. I had just quit my job. I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life? What is going on? So I was just in a place where I was lacking a lot of clarity. The new year was kind of a way for me to, I guess, set the goal to have clarity. Honestly, I can't even tell you what I wanted to do this New Year's. It took me like 4 months to make a vision board this year. That's how confused and stressed and anxious I was. I didn't even know what I wanted. So I completely understand if maybe you're in the same boat. Also wouldn't beat myself up if you haven't maybe achieved the things that you set out to do, because I do understand that this might have been a difficult year for you, as it must have been for other people. So don't even worry about it. We're taking inventory. Now, in order to be ahead of everyone else, the next thing that we need to do is we need to begin to plan this rebrand. We need to begin to set these new resolutions before January 2024. 2024. So what this is going to look like is you are going to choose your inspiration. Who is it that you want to become next year? Who is it that you want to become between now and January 1st? What are the habits that you have carried throughout this year that you are just sick and tired of? What are the goals that you have for next year, for the rest of this year, that you need to achieve? What is the identity that you need to take on for you to be that person that you want to be? So the very first thing we're going to do is choose your inspiration. I kind of spoke about this in a TikTok video I made earlier this week, but how you do this, how you go about this is basically just think about your goal specifically. What is it that you're trying to achieve out of this rebrand? Is it that you want to, be more fit, or you want to achieve a specific goal, or you want to go somewhere, or whatever it is? Really, really focus in on the goal that you want between now and next year. What this is going to do is going to help you pick your inspiration. It can be in the form of a person, it can be in the form of a colleague, a friend, an influencer, whatever. You're going to find someone that inspires you and has maybe achieved the things that you're setting out to achieve. And one thing that I'll never ever advocate for is for you to now go and just completely say, oh, I want to be like somebody else, or I want this person's life. You guys already know me by now. I will never ever wish for somebody or wish for you to want somebody else's life. You are your own unique person. You're a star in your own right. You're gonna be fine. Okay, so never ever wish for someone else's life. But what this is going to do for you is it's going to help you get the inspiration that you need. What are the qualities in this person that you want to embody? Why do you admire them? What is it about them that inspires you? For example, it could be a quality like, oh, I love how authentic that person is. Cool. Maybe your goal is to embody more of your authenticity between now and next year. And what this does for you is that it makes that goal really, really clear, so that in the next few months, whatever action that you are taking, you have it in the back of your mind that, yes, my intention is authenticity. My word, my inspiration was authenticity. And so it is a constant reminder for you to continue to act in alignment with authenticity. So your word could be anything, but figure out what that is, pick your inspiration, and let that lead the rest of this process that's going to follow, because it's going to be really, really, really important for you to stay grounded and for you to just continue to work towards the goals that you have successfully. After you've chosen this word and you've gotten clarity on your intention, the next thing that I want you to do is to think about what are your goals specifically. And you need to be specific about your goals, because this is where it's easy for us to get lost, right? Maybe on January 1st, you were like, oh, I want to be more healthy, or I want to be more fit. Cool. That's more of an intention than a goal to me, to be honest, because saying you want to be more healthy can look a million different ways to literally a million different people. Everybody's definition of healthy and fit is completely different. So when you're setting up your goal and you're thinking of what you want to do, try and be more specific. If you want to be more fit, quote unquote, then say something like, my goal is to go to the gym 3 to 4 days a week, every week. That is so much more specific. That is measurable. That is actionable. And that is something that you can actually keep progress of if you look backwards, as opposed to just something super vague that might not necessarily allow you to track the results that you want. So when you set up your goal, make sure that it's specific. Make sure it's specific to what you want, not what anybody else wants, and just keep that in the back of your mind. So set your intention and then create the goals that go with that. The next thing we're going to do is to take these things off a pedestal. This is where a lot of us get twisted. This is where a lot of us get messed up, because when we have goals, or when there's something that we want to achieve, if we see that thing as so far removed from ourselves and something that is so big and something that is so intimidating, then we are so much less inclined to do it. And a lot of times it's not even a conscious process, because I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I find something difficult to do, I literally will procrastinate it until the very, very last second. And I'm going to tell you a little secret right now. Don't make fun of me, but before I recorded this episode, I was literally shaking. And I don't know why, because I usually don't get super nervous before episodes, but something about this episode just made me really, really, really nervous. And so I've literally put this off till the very last minutes, because I just felt so intimidated by recording the episode. So when something is so big and scary, it can be more difficult to take action on it. And this is why it's always a good idea to take whatever it is that you want to achieve achieve off a pedestal. If you don't know what this means, taking it off a pedestal basically means bringing that goal down to your level, or you going up to meet that goal at the level that it's at, pretty much. Just to be more clear, it's that you are not seeing this goal as something so far above you that you cannot achieve. It's not out of your reach. It's not out of your capabilities. It's not something that you cannot have. Just because it's something that you haven't done before, or something that you think other people can do and not you, doesn't mean that you can't do it. Everything is in the mind, and you just need to tell yourself that because I want this and because I desire it, it's already mine. There's nothing above you. There's nothing too good for you. There's nothing that you cannot have. So you just need to keep reminding yourself of that every single time you feel that desire going up above you, because it is your desire. And this is so important, because when you and your goals are on the same level, you can look at it eye to eye. You can talk to your goals. You can coach yourself through. You can motivate yourself to get up and go and do that thing. If you already feel like I can't have this, or like I'm not the type of person that can do this, or maybe I'm too scared to do this, or I don't have the skills to do it, then you're gone before you even start. Like, it's a goner for you. So it's very important to constantly remind yourself of the fact that your goals are a part of you. They're not above you. They're not below you. It's something that you can easily achieve. So just keep that in mind throughout this whole process as well. Honestly, a practical way to do this would just be to give it a cool name. You know how I called it Project Rebrand in the beginning? Hey, that's a fun way to spin it. You can, I don't know, give yourself an alter ego, give it a cool, like, funky name that you can look forward to. Make it something that actually excites you from the inside out, so that it's something that you actually look forward to, and something that you can put more of your personality into and your spin onto as well, because that will make it more sustainable for you in the long run. Trust me, it's easy for me to sit down here and tell you, oh, wake up every morning and brush your teeth and meditate or whatever, but if it's not something that you are personally excited about, then you're most likely not going to do it. I know. I also have a lot of faith in you, so I trust that you're going to do it, and you're going to do it well. The next and probably the most important thing that I will say for Project Rebrand is that you need to make a plan. A goal without a plan, I don't remember how that quote goes, but I think it's something like, a goal without a plan is just a dream, or something like that. If you have a goal and you don't have a solid plan to go with it, then baby girl, you're in trouble. Baby boy, you're in trouble. You've already knocked yourself down before you can even start. So this is how we're gonna make a plan, okay? I have the very great privilege of being in a class this semester where we talk about performance mindset. So my professor is like super cool. He has all this like neuroscience and psychology background, and he tells us about basically how the brain affects performance mindset. And so something he has us doing this semester is something called a mega month, where we basically pick a couple of things that we want to work on and set a plan for 30 days where we're gonna make sure that we're doing these things every day and just kicking off our goals. Basically like a 1 month sprint for our goals. So you and me, we're gonna do something very similar. So by now you should have chosen your intention, chosen your inspiration, written out your goals, and actually been very specific about what it is that you want to do. All that was leading up and setting you up for how we're gonna plan your mega month. So we don't have to call it a mega month if we don't want to, but basically the premise of this is that you write down these goals that you want to do and spread them out over a month. So for example, if one of your goals is, I want to do something fun every week, go into your calendar and schedule something fun every week. 4 times. If your goal is that you want to go to the gym 3 times a week, make sure you have that written down. Make sure you've set that up somewhere in your calendar. Put it somewhere where you'll be accountable for those goals, and you'll also be able to track it by the end of the month. This is what will help you stay accountable, and will also remind you of the fact that you are doing Project Rebrand. Will remind you of the goals that you set in the beginning, and just keep it in the back of your mind that this is something that you're actively working towards. I feel like November is a really good energy, and is a really great time and a really great chance for us to just set new things in motion and not really worry too much about everything that has gone wrong in the past, however long it's gone past. I feel like in this community, we don't want to focus too much on the things that we've done wrong. Yes, sometimes it's good to reflect, but it's also good to look forward and make a plan. So I really hope you're as excited about this as I am. I'm definitely going to set some goals, and if you want me to share those with you, just let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram and let me know, and I will definitely be so happy to share those. But I'm just excited to go on this journey with you guys because I think we need a fresh start. I think we deserve that. I think it's something that we'll be so happy we've done when we look back on this in a few weeks or even in a few months. And I can't wait to see all the results that we all get and how we grow from this experience. Let me know as well if you have any questions, if there's anything you want me to touch on deeper. Like I said, you can always DM me or you can go to the question portal and just drop your questions there, and I will touch on it in more detail if you need me to. I hope this helps. I hope this has given you some sort of structure, some sort of skeleton to go off of, and just some sort of motivation for you to really knock out your November goals and your goals for the rest of the year. As always, thank you for sharing this space with me. Thank you for spending this time with me. I am so happy you're here. This means you're serious. This means you're ready to rebrand. This means we are glowing up this year. We're glowing up by 2024, and honestly, I could not be more excited. So again, shout out to you. I know you're gonna do amazing, and I will see you on the next episode of Me, Myself, and Love, the podcast. Don't forget to join the Love Club. It's our private group chat where we can chit chat about the episodes, any questions you might have, share tips with our community, and just be besties. So join that if you haven't already, and follow this episode. Drop a review if you're feeling nice. I love you so much. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next time. Bye.